Hi, thanks for joining me today. We're going to do a little flow. That's a good warm up for wintertime or any time for that matter, but just getting the body moving a little bit and taking some time to open up through the shoulders and the hips and a little bit through the sides of the body too. So if you have some yoga blocks, bring those with you and place them at the front of the long side of your mat. We're actually going to face the long side of the mat today. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use a stack of books. You can use a small stool or a small chair, but just have that accessible. And then start in mountain pose. We want to find our foundation first. So feet hip distance apart, lift all your toes, spread the toes, place the toes down. So see if you can keep that space between the toes as you land the feet on the mat. And then think of lifting the inner arch of the foot. Make sure you have even weight between the front, the ball of the foot, and the back, the heel, with maybe a tiny bit more weight in the heel. Just make sure you're not leaning all of your weight forward into the ball of the foot. And then from that inner arch lifting, think of the kneecaps lifting, feel the sternum lift. So we create all this length and energy up through the front of the body, energy up through the crown of the head. Let the arms come down by your side. Let the shoulders relax down the back. Think of the tailbone lengthening and feel the weight back down in the heels. And if you'd like, you can close the eyes for a few breaths. Just checking in, just kind of do a little scan to notice how your body feels today and feel your connection to the earth, feeling the weight of the feet or the energy in the feet. And then feel the energy travel from the feet as you breathe all the way up the legs, the spine, all the way to the crown of the head. As you exhale, think of that energy releasing from the crown of the head, down the spine, the legs, and all the way back down to the soles of the feet. So using that breath to find your grounded foundation. Inhaling and exhaling, and as you breathe, really think of breathing in and expanding in the ribs. Another breath here, inhaling and exhaling, and then gently let the eyes open. So we want to keep that steady flow with our breath as we move through this sequence today. So inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead, reaching up through the fingertips, just sun breath to start with. Exhale, turn the palms down, float the arms back down by your side. So we'll do that a couple times with the breath. Inhale, arms floating all the way up, extending up through those fingertips. Exhale, the arms release back down. So one more time like that. Inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, release the hands down. Now this time, inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead. If it feels comfortable, take the gaze up, let the palms touch. Exhale, bring the hands down to the heart. Let the head bow slightly towards the hands, and then press into the palms, bring the arms back up. And again, if it feels comfortable for the neck, look up, and then exhale again, let the arms release down. So one more time like that. Inhale, float the arms all the way up, palms touch, feel that stretch through the front of the body. Exhale, hands to the heart, feel that little stretch in the back of the neck and the upper back, and then press into the palms, float the arms back up. Exhale, release the hands down. So now let's take the feet, step the feet nice and wide on your mat. So as you extend the feet out to the side, just kind of give yourself a ballpark figure. If you reach the arms out by your side, do your ankles land underneath your wrists? They may or may not, but think of that nice wide stance here. And then star pose, extend out through the fingers, lengthen up through the crown of the head. And then we're going to turn the toes slightly towards the outside edges of the mat. And as you exhale, bend your elbows to a cactus pose, bend the knees so they're going towards the end of your mat and you're feeling a stretch in the inner thighs. Come to a goddess pose. So inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Think of energy through the fingertips, through the crown of the head, down through the feet. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, sink down to that goddess pose. So inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. And exhale. So warming up through the hips and through the legs. And inhale. Good. A couple more times here. Exhale. And inhale. And then this time as you exhale, pause here. Release the right elbow down to the right thigh. bring the left arm up and overhead. So little lateral flexion here in temple pose. So really think of still pressing those knees and those inner thighs back, and then come back through your goddess pose, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, and then exhale again, goddess pose. Nice inhale to lengthen, exhale, elbow to the left thigh, reach that right arm all the way up and overhead. And then come back again through that goddess pose, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. And then bring the hands to the hips, turn the toes back to the front of the mat. Find the hinge of your hip, lengthen through the crown of the head, hinge forward. Take those blocks or that chair that you have in front of you, place your hands on your blocks in a height where you can feel a nice flat back here. So we want to think of table pose here. So we don't want to have the hands down and be rounded and collapsing forward. We want to think of that nice length in the spine. So everybody out there is a different height, so make sure that you find a level that feels good for you. And again, this could be a small stool or chair here. So spinal twist, right hand to the center of your support that you're using, your block or your chair. Bring your left hand to your sacrum, fingertips point towards the tailbone. Draw the left shoulder back, revolve your torso towards the left. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head. Inhale and exhale. If you'd like, you can bring the arm overhead. If you want to do that, go ahead and let the arm release down first, and then sweep that left arm all the way up, reaching up through the fingertips. If that does not feel good for your shoulder, then bring your hand back to your lower back. Inhale and exhale, and then release the hand back down. Pause here, nice length in the spine. Maybe soften the elbows, take a little deeper forward bend here, but keep that length in your lower back. Try not to round the lower back. And then inhale, come back up. Left hand to the center of your support, block, chair, right hand to the sacrum, right shoulder draws back. Revolve your torso to the right. Lengthen through the crown of the head. So find that nice length in the spine. And then if you'd like to float the arm up again, release it down first, let it come to neutral, and then bring that right arm overhead. If that does not feel good for your shoulder, again, come back to that lower back. Inhale and exhale. And then release that hand again back down. Both hands to the blocks, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale again, maybe hinge a little forward at the hips, fold a little down, bend those elbows a little bit, pressing into the feet. Inhale, straighten the arms, bring the hands to the hinge of the hip. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. One more posture here, wide-legged. So turn your right toes towards the end of your mat. Let's take our blocks, or your chair, if you have that chair, bring it to the outside of your right pinky toe. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to hinge at this left hip, let the right hip, and let the left hip just a little roll forward. So we're letting that pelvis move a little bit. We're going to bring the right hand down to the block. Keep length in both sides of the body. And then just as we did a moment ago, bring that left arm overhead. If that does not feel good for your shoulder, then rest your hand across your lower back. Make sure you're not hyperextending this front knee. Think of lifting that kneecap up a little bit. Press into the outside edge of the back foot. Lift the inner arch of the back foot. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Widen across the collarbones and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Good, now press into the feet. Inhale, come all the way back up. Bring the hands to the hips. Turn the right toes forward. Just a little release here. Hinge at the hips. Fold forward. Do that little forward bend. Neutral position for the spine. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Let's take our blocks or chair to the other side. So turn your left foot towards the end of your mat. Place your props to the outside of that left foot. Hands to the hips. So again, we're going to hinge at this hip. We're not going to collapse the spine and fall down. We're going to hinge at this hip, let the back hip roll forward slightly, and then let that hand rest on the block, and then bring that right arm overhead, or again, resting on your lower back. Lengthen through the crown of the head and breathe. Inhaling and exhale. Good. Another breath. Inhale and exhale, and then come all the way back up. Turn those left toes in. Again, hands to the hinge of the hip. Hinge forward. Inhale and exhale. Keep that nice length in your back. Press into the feet. Come all the way up to stand. We're going to take the right foot, turn it towards the end of the mat, and this time we're going to pivot our whole torso facing the end. You can just move your blocks or your chair off to the side, out of the way. We're going to pivot on that back foot, lift the back heel, both hands down on either side of the back foot, step back to your downward facing dog. So feet hip distance apart, hands shoulders distance apart or a little wider, lengthen through the crown of the head, maybe pedal through the feet here. Inhale and exhale. Now tag a little weight into the left heel. Inhale, lift the right leg up. It does not matter how high. Bend your knees, step the foot all the way up behind the right hand. Lower the left knee down and curl the toes. Press into the feet, sweep the arms all the way up and overhead. Make sure that right knee is right over top of the ankle. Exhale, bring both hands down to the mat, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, step the right leg back beside the left. Inhale and exhale. A little weight in the right heel. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, land the foot behind the left hand, lower the right knee down and curl the toes. Press into the feet, sweep those arms forward, up and back. Take a breath here, inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands again back down on either side of the front foot, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, back to your downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Now release the knees to the mat, uncurl the toes, bring the wrist underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Exhale, round the spine to cat pose. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, lift the heart and the sternum, lengthen the crown of the head into your cow pose. So keep that going with the breath. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhale. And inhale. Good. Once more, exhale. And inhale. And then this time as you exhale, round the spine, fold all the way back to child pose. Hips towards the heels, forehead towards the mat. Let the forehead release down. If your forehead doesn't come all the way down, take one of your blocks. Let your forehead rest on a block. You can also stack the hands up or make fists with the hands to give yourself a little support here. Breathe into the back of the body. Reconnect with that breath. Another breath here. And then very gently pressing into the hands, begin to slowly roll yourself up, coming up to your seated on your heels. You can also sit cross-legged if this does not feel comfortable, or you can also take that block and pop it between the legs for a little bit more height, so whatever feels comfortable for you. But just for a moment, close the eyes. Check in with how you feel. Noticing the rhythm of your breath, noticing any warmth or tingling in the body from that movement of the energy through the body. Notice any thoughts or emotions. See if you feel a little bit more centered, a little bit more balanced. And then very gently let the eyes open. So thank you for joining me today. That short flow is something that you can repeat a few times to give yourself, warm yourself up a little bit more. Great to do before any activity like riding. So do give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out information about Grey Horse Yoga in the info section below. I hope to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.